Good morning, traders. This is modified Darvas box MDB, and it is Saturday, June 8th at 10:12 a.m. in the morning here in Florida, where it's hot and rainy, and it's time to do another weekend review. And this week in the market was pretty exciting because it was all about GME and Roaring Kitty and what's going on with all that. It's a great story. Uh, I've been struggling with what's the guy's strategy? What's he doing? And I think he just made a giant mistake. But we'll see how it plays out. The mistake is, did he have a plan? Well, more and more it looks like, yeah, maybe he doesn't have a plan. I don't know. Was he in partnership with people? Yeah, it's maybe not. No, he said no, he's not. So all the imagination and storytelling people did has sort of gotten went poof. But his deadline for those calls are coming up, so we will see what happens. It's a great story, but well, it's a head scratcher. As far as the rest of the market, we got some interesting signals going on, interesting triggers, and there's arguments that it's both bullish and bearish, and we're kind of in I guess, a middle neutral zone. You can pick a side, and you can find stocks that are fit your point of view. If you're bullish, yeah, you can find bullish stocks. If you're bearish, you can find bearish stocks, and they all seem to be working. So, the I'm thinking this summer might play out like this until we get a real definite move, and probably it's all dependent upon the Federal Reserve. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, that's enough for the monologue. Let's talk about the charts. For anybody who has not watched one of my videos before, I am an independent trader, investor. I developed my own very unique trading system based on the book How I Made $2 Million in the Stock Market by Nicholas Darvas. It's a wonderful book, and it has based on real trades. And then I've also added elements of the strategy in as well. And as you see on my charts here, I use TC2000, a wonderful charting program, and I draw box ranges, which you could also call bases if you're an IBD cancelim guy. And the coloring on the chart also has meaning. Uh, Other charts have different colors. Like this one right here is light gray, and that means these are inside weeks. Weekly is my core view. And for example, an inside bar is simply a 50-50 bar. It could go break out either up or down, but it's the market giving us signals. And we're basically, what I'm doing is I'm looking for these signals and to tell me what to do in terms of my trading. There's a signal up, I might have to take action. But if you think about it, there's signals which alert you to things to possibly do, and then there's the actual trigger, which is where you take action. Because many signals don't trigger. They warn you, they alert you, they tell you to get ready, but then they don't pan out, they don't play out. So what I do is on a lot of them, I take note of the signal, and then I set up alerts or triggers, to take advantage if something happens, if it's something I want to buy. Other alerts and triggers, I just make note of, but I don't do anything. And that's what a lot of what we're going to look at today is stocks setting up alerts and triggers. I have six lists, and I'm constantly moving stocks around, and I'll talk about those more in a sec. But now let's get into it. And this new format, we're only going to look at stuff that's in the trigger list, stuff that's actually moving, because there's plenty of stocks that are just going sideways in boxes like this, and it's just moving. So we'll start with the indexes, and quickly that gives us this gives us the overview, the backdrop, what's going on. So first one here, ARC. I leave ARC because it's got a great chart for showing the color signals. Yellow bar, that's a bullish signal. White bar, that's a bearish signal, the opposite of yellow. see how signals, and then the week after is the trigger. Bearish, bullish reaction. But then a bullish trigger and now had a bearish reaction. What did the stock do? The fund do? It went sideways. Pink bar, that's a pay attention signal, but with a bearish slant. And then blue bar, which is sort of a bullish pay attention signal. And what's interesting on blues, they tend to have pullbacks the next week, but not always, as shown right here. That's the one thing in the market. It's nothing is ever guaranteed. But I think you all know that already. So this one here has had 3 weeks of down outside the box. To me, that means it's closed. And I change the color on it and I try to, fit it as best I can. But ARC, you had a signal here. It did not trigger here, came close, but it's down out of this box signal. Basically, her portfolio is not performing very well. But again, I don't recommend ARC. It's just for demonstration purposes. Oil. Look at this. Oil's in a steady downtrend. Why the hell is oil in a steady downtrend? Well, is demand for oil going up or going down? I'd say this means demand is going down. Why is oil demand going down? Well, gee, do you think it's because the economy's slowing and maybe going into recession? Possibly. Possibly. It's only one data point, but it's something to keep in mind. Oil rising generally means, hey man, the economy's moving. They need oil. Now here, I don't know. That's not a very good economic sign. Here we got Nasdaq. Let's see here. We had the big box breakout right here on the volume, and look at it. This one looks great. Nasdaq looks like it's going up just fine, but other tickers and stuff might make us question: is this fine really? We know that the top, how many is it? The top 7 stocks make up like 30% of the NASDAQ here. So this is actually more representative of the 7 biggest stocks, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Google, Meta, Apple, and maybe like 1 or 2 others, and that's it. So 30% of this move is 7 stocks. Isn't this supposed to represent like 1,000? So again, color me's a little skeptical. It's bullish, but does that mean your NASDAQ stock's going to be going up? It probably means, Apple, Amazon, whatever is going up, but you might find that your individual stock tells a different story. But at the moment, based on the chart, that looks bullish, bull market. Ethereum. Look at that. Did I close that? Did Ethereum close? What is that? 34. Yeah, it's actually came back into the box range, which means it does not have a green. Look at this. Everybody was super excited on Ethereum when it made the big move right here. Had a breakout. Oh, look at that huge volume. And then where does it go? It doesn't go anywhere. Maybe it'll go in the future, but that's kind of underwhelming for anybody who jumped on it up here thinking the big move is here. Well, that's pretty underwhelming, and you've kind of wasted 2 weeks of your time. A growth index proxy. Pink bar signal here. Didn't really trigger, but it's sort of a warning. Look at it did the last time. It went sideways and then to a down. So right here, should we expect more sideways in growth stocks? Yeah, probably. And this is how the market is signaling us, how it's talking to us, in my opinion. China, they made it. It comes from China. Had a nice little move here, and now it's 3 weeks down. I don't trade Chinese stocks, but I just keep an eye on them. Right here, Bitcoin keeps going sideways. The Bitcoin bulls, I thought you guys were going to blast it out of this box. No, it's just going sideways more. Sideways, sideways, sideways. Ever since this red sell bar, it's been going sideways. This red sell bar finally sucked out all the momentum out of it. Should you be selling? Nope. Well, if you bought at the very tippy top, yeah, maybe. But if you bought down here, you should still be long and trend following. That's how you capture the big moves, by sitting and doing nothing and letting it do its thing. So it's still going sideways. Maybe it'll blast out. I don't know. We'll see. Gold. Oh, look at that. Pink bar. Warning. Well, maybe the demand for gold's going down. It's still sideways in the box, but now I know. Well, and gold means, you're not afraid, or different stuff is going on. High yield bonds, sideways. Software had a big rebound here. Big day here, then look at that. They bought it all back, or they don't think software's that bad. Housing. This is the home construction index. Are interest rates causing problems now? That would be my guess. Inside week, followed by a orange colored shooter bar. A shooter is an inverse hammer. And it triggered the next week right here. Here's your trigger line. And so far, let's say you sold it right there, well, you're making money. You had a little scare last week, but this looks like it's beginning. If this one crashes down through the box next week, well, then I would say housing is officially going into a bear, and interest rates, and that again might portend recession. So you see, this is about reading the market. Look at this. Micro caps. Oh, this was a bullish signal right here on microcaps. Look at that green. Instead, what happened? The signal failed. Big investors said, no, thank you. And look at that. Now it's broken down out of the box. See, bearish signals. But I thought the NASDAQ was going to all-time highs. How can this be? Well, it means that not everything is as rosy as it might look. IWM pointed downwards, but sideways in a box, nothing there. Healthcare moving back up. That Barack Obama wrecked healthcare for everyone, and we're still paying the price for it. It means invest in healthcare companies until Congress changes the legislation or changes the rules or whatever, but they're not going to do that. Transports. This was very bearish looking this past week, but then blammo. Look at that. Big green into the transports. Well, maybe we're not doing that bad. That's a bullish bar, so I'm going to set an expectation that next week is bullish on this one, right there. Let's move this over. So, mixed signals. Oil's down, housing looks weak, but transports is sort of holding in there. NASDAQ 100 equal weighted index. An inside weak bar here, 50-50, could go either way. So this is the NASDAQ equal weighted, where the impact of those huge 7 companies have no impact. Look at the difference. This one versus NASDAQ versus the NASDAQ. Is the market healthy and going up, or is it sort of going sideways? See how you can see the difference? Oh, Fizz, pink bar signal. I own this one. Now I'm going to have to pay attention, and well, I might be selling because I bought it back in here, and I've just been sitting riding this little trend. But again, we'll see the reaction. But now I can sit up, I can prepare, and if it does keep going down, well, then I know to pull the trigger, and that'll be a successful trade. I won't have made a ton of money, but I'll have made money. Don't lose money. Don't lose money. Buy the good stuff, sit in the trades, and don't lose money. QQQ's moving higher. Now, it broke out here, but it didn't have any volume. See right there? No volume. Contrast it with the NASDAQ. Yeah, it's just so strange, these cross currents. To me, the QQQs are weak, but then you look at the regular NASDAQ, and that looks strong. It's very strange. RSP equal weighted S&P 500 going sideways. You know, rest of the market's going sideways. So it just tells me that this market's narrow. It's a narrow market. If the few winners are driving it higher, and if you own them, man, you think everything's great. Why shouldn't you? Short-term bonds going up means interest rates are going down. If these are pointed downwards, interest rates are going up. Look at that. That's kind of funky. Interesting. Semiconductors moving higher. Broke out, no volume, but you know, you can still work. But yeah, semiconductors and Magnificent Seven. S&P 500, that looks more bullish. But compared to the equal weighted S&P, eh. So, no matter how you feel, you can find stocks that fit how you feel. Sentiment getting a little low right there. Yeah, nothing crazy. This one here, stocks above the 40-day. That's getting a little lower, pointed maybe a little more down here. Solar, the tan. Okay, 2 weeks ago, this had a very bullish signal. Look at that green volume. The week after, yeah, it triggered. Now, maybe it's not so good. Signals and triggers, and then how you manage the trade after. Has anybody made money on the solar? No, but but everybody sure got excited. Solar's back, baby. Yeah, maybe not. And that's a potential bearish bar on TLTs, interest rates. There's stuff going on in bond world. Oh, here's a failure, uranium. Broke out here. Big red volume here. 50-50 bar, splat. So yeah, I'd say the bull market in uranium just fizzled out. VIX, nothing there, nothing there. Housing, interesting. Pink bar signal on housing, that's a warning. This is the home builders index. And I made note of this. I've tried to short home builders before. I'm short one company in that, and it's doing well. So yeah, I'm bearish on housing. And energy, yeah, we know energy's been pulling back. There's a box breakdown. Where is that? We'll mark that. So yeah, energy no longer in a bull market. Finance, nothing there. Okay, let's move to the lists. And this next list is list 2. Breakout leaders. These are the ones I think are the best of the best. And you know, I've done a little bit of pre-work on these, but not a lot. So some of these charts are fresh to me also. I always like to wake up and, you know, do a few errands and do some stuff in the morning, and I want my brain to be fresh. So usually your first impression, in my opinion, your first impression is the most accurate. Like first time you see something, whatever you think is going on, that's usually the truth. The bros. Nice little resolution here. Had a inside bar there with a little breakout move higher. That's a bullish long trade. I bought it from here and I sold it here, but now, you know, I probably should have kept it. But either way, that looks bullish. Textbook name, this one, Kava had this great big blue bar. A lot of stuff happened last week. Now, like I mentioned, blue bars have a tendency to sell off the next week. So there it is right there. So now, if you really like this company, and I might have to consider it, if it breaks this top level, I'll be a buyer. But it could also break this lower one. We shall see. But I'm going to set an alert on that one. If it breaks downwards, I'm not betting against that. We'll see. This one here, wonderful long-term trend. It looks better on the monthly. going higher, but now it might have hit a peak for now. Look at the selling here. First big selling in a while. This one, box breakout on a good earnings report right there. So, positive. CVNA is pulling, it's been pulling back 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. But this is beginning to look more like a box is forming. Not yet, because I have rules on how to draw these, but that's getting close. Next week it'll be will be determined. Deck, yep, box breakout, textbook. Look at that right there. Very bullish. First Solar. People looking for trades decided that First Solar was the trade this week. No. That's not how you read charts. What you had is inside bars, and you got to wait for the signal. Look at some of your favorite Twitter traders. They were all buying and getting long in here. What happened? Well, the stock went nowhere. It's because it's too far above the Bollinger Band here, and it's just too hot at the moment. It needs to consolidate. So when I saw people buying it, I was like, yeah, that's a mistake. They should have listened to MDB. Hood, looking good. Look at the last 4 weeks. Green, 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 green. Bulls are buying, but you had the box breakout here. You had a warning signal here, but any warning signal that fails is bullish. It just sort of made it. So I hate to say it, this is strong, but it's kind of the weakest looking strong I've seen in a while. But part of it comes from the fact it has so many shares outstanding. 874 million shares. God, that means there's always somebody out there who wants to sell. Stocks with that many shares outstanding are hard to move, in my opinion. Moving super tankers. Okay, ML. This one pissed me off because I own it. I bought it back here. I sold a piece here. We had warning signal here. I ignored it. This warning signal, it did trigger, and I sold another chunk of this one. I had a big chunk of this one. I bought a lot of it back in last August, and I'm trying for the long-term capital gain, but man, the market's just not making it easy. So I've got a third left. Started here, sold a third here, sold a second third here, and now I'm hoping that this hangs around and does fine. But it really pissed me off when we got the signal there and that it triggered this week. I could have put my head in the sand, but, you know, I'm trying for that long-term capital gain. But I don't want to ignore the signals either. This was one of my best trades of the year, by the way. Look at that. Just lovely. This one here, box breakout, moving higher, but I don't like this company one bit. And NVIDIA, box breakout, moving higher. Look at that, it had the signal here, and it said, who cares about your little signals? Look at that, blue higher. It's just so positive. I mean, it is the leader, you know. But maybe that's what's driving the NASDAQ while everything sort of deteriorates. This one, looking good. Box breakout, put it on your lists. Qualcomm looks good. Inside, nothing crazy. SE, I do own this. Bought it here and added here. It's recovered from this little bad news gap down. Looks great. Shark Ninja. Oh, look at that. That's a warning signal. Pay attention. If you've bought anywhere back in here and you've ridden the trend, it may be time to consider selling. But we'll see next week. So you see how signals tell you to pay attention? There you go. Spot. Oh, look at that. It was a box breakout, and now that's a sell signal. Look at that. We need to change this to bearish. Potential signal. We'll see if it triggers next week. This one here, box breakout, big volume, but now look at it give some up. Walmart looks great, you know. So there's plenty of long stocks working out there. All right, this list here is bullish, but not as good, and these are and that have had various triggers. So the criteria I'm using in keeping them on this list is, did it have a bullish signal, which Apple did on this yellow, and has it basically continued without any kind of negative divergence? Yeah, it's continuing. Apple's bullish. Look at it go up. It's now at the level, though, where it sold off prior, but we'll see. AI. So I bought some AI because there's that bullish yellow bar signal. Right here, I am down 10 cents because I bought it at 30.10 on this one. And this is pretty much looking 50-50 right here. So this tells me basically I need to put my stop in. I want to put some triggers here, probably down for $1. If it hits 20, what's the low on this? 28.76. Probably if it gets close to 29, then I'll blow out of it and just consider it a failure. But you see how I'm trading off signals. Signal here, I bought some in here. We'll see what happens. AMD, there's a bullish signal. It had a bullish signal here and sort of been really difficult, but it looks pointed like it might go higher next week. Stays on the list. Broadcom. This was a negative signal last week. Inside, down, that's negative. And now it rebounded, and now it's a potential box breakout. Low volume, but a potential box breakout. Look at that. But we know semiconductors are strong, so makes sense. Berkshire, that's a bullish signal right there. And Berkshire Hathaway is a very good representation of America. What's going on out there? Well, maybe, you know, again, some stuff's doing great, other stuff's not. This is working its way higher. No real negative signals, but it didn't have any volume. But, you know, we'll see. Costco moving higher. The low volume box breakout here, but these can work. A signal, and what did it do? It resolved higher. Boom. If you own Costco, you're loving it. Crocs, moving higher, a little volatile. There we go, bullish signal. Last week, we had a signal here. This week it triggered. It had earnings, of course, but that looks very bullish right here. So put this on your list of potential names. It is sort of expensive in terms of market cap, price to sales, but that's a bullish signal. This one right here, Geo. Okay. This is one in trying to figure this out. We have a bearish box breakdown, a bullish signal. It triggered bullish, but now it's given it all back, just about. So you know what? We're going to take this off the list and just put it into watching. Okay, GH. Bullish signal here. Look at this volume. Bullish signal here. Another bullish signal here. I bought here. And now it went up to a box breakout, but failed. And now has a potential bearish looking one. So basically I punched out, took the quick gain, made a couple points, move on. But because it's right here with all this, it's staying on this bullish list. Google, still moving higher, no negative signals. JPM, still on there. In fact, you know what? It had this signal here. It didn't resolve or anything. I don't think this is very bullish at the moment. So we'll just move to watching. LMT had a trigger here. Box breakout. Bullish signal. It triggered, but then went nowhere. So we're going to move this to the watching list. MU, yeah, generally still moving up. There's low volume breakout though. Netflix, that's a box breakout on no volume. Week 4 might be where it figures out if it's gonna go, if it's gonna fail, it'll fail next week. We'll keep an eye on it. Reddit, a bullish resolution to the signal, but barely. So we'll keep that in here, and that looks like it's forming a box range. Right in here. And I'll use generally the close, whereas Darvas himself would use the tail. It's your choice what you want to do. There's no magic formula for this. It's just what you're most comfortable with. You could go here, you could go here, you could split the difference like there. Or you could have it sort of scrape the high. Whoop. Yeah, sort of scrape the high of this one. So lots of ways you can draw boxes. Oh, signal, bullish, going higher. Spot. Oh, why did I have this one? Did I put it on the wrong list? That should be list 4. Moving higher, no real signals there. Moving higher, no real signals there. But notice how this list of bullish ones got a little smaller. And now our final list, the bearish triggers, bearish signals. A-Lab, I'm short this one. Triggered back here, 2 inside. Triggered right here, I shorted right there. What did it do? It kept going down. That's my favorite kind of trade. Keeps going my way. Now we'll see, is it gonna box breakdown, keep going lower? Well, the history of IPOs says yes. Coal, look at that. Pink bar signal, be careful. So it goes on this list of potentials. ANET, box breakout here, what did it do? 1, week 2, week 3, week 4 it failed. Now it failed on a trade based on these levels from here. It's still a great trade in terms of overall trend. But for new money right here, it's not working. So now it had a signal here. So this really should go onto watching list. Haha, Bill. I'm short this one. Had a signal here. It failed. But while failing, it simply created another signal. Gosh. Come on, just go down already. But I'm short that one, and so far it's still continuing. BLDR, I'm short this one. Isn't it funny? Housing supply. Big bearish signal here. A bearish shooter bar here. It went up a little bit on this one because the crazies, you know, can't help themselves. And now the trend really starts to assert itself. I'm short at 167. It's at 146. I'm up 20 points already. Are we going to a recession? Maybe. Is housing going to, having problems? I would say so. That does not look bullish at all. Cat. Look at this. Box breakdown. I'll mark the volume. Box breakdown here. This is what? Heavy equipment? And it's selling down. And look at this. Red, 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 red. If you're bearish on the economy, you can find bearish stocks. Box breakout failure. Look at this. It keeps going down. There was no volume there. Doesn't look good. D-Dog. Box breakdown. Still going down. Dell. There's that pink bar and it resolved to the downside. So this stays here on the bearish list. So you see, is everything going fantastic bull market? No. Box breakdown on DKNG. 50-50 signal here. I'll keep it on this list until it resolves. I hope it resolves down. I don't like this company. ELF, bullish signal here. Inside weak, but look what it did. It went up. Yay. Whoops. Now it went down. If the consumer is struggling, then I would figure that this stock will be more sideways. Oof. Box breakdown. Look at that one drop. GTLB. IoT. Bearish signal here. And boy, it got worse down here. I think it had its earnings. It's a little hard to read. Let me make that a little color. There we go. Make the watermark a little easier to see. But yeah, look at this wild ride here. From bullish to bearish. MDB, say it isn't so. Right there. Bearish. Steel. Box breakdown. NUE. What's going on in the economy? Looks like it's getting worse to me. But Nvidia's up. This one right here. Tech. Had a bearish signal here, but then didn't really do anything. At that point, it's 50-50. I'll leave it here, but it's probably, looks like it's pointed like it might go back up. Pink bar bearish signal. Pay attention. Rig oil related. White bar bearish. Root on the bottom edge here. It triggered down and it's had now 3 weeks down. SMCI, that's a downtrend right there. Box breakdown, although volume was low, but looking down. Oof. Big pink bar on this one. Ouch. Snow. I'm short this one. Pink bar signal here. Bearish resolution. And now box breakdown. Look at this. Red, 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 red. This stock just looks like a mess. So yeah, if the market's turned down, which one do I want to be short? This one. Oh, I am. So that's how I hedge my portfolio. I'm really a long short manager at this point. Got some longs and some shorts. Spot. Square down, and it didn't really bounce back. STAA. I did own this. I sold it last week. Box breakdown, low volume though. Natural gas going down, but we already know that energy's been going down. So then Uber, oh, look at Uber, finally rebounded, finally found some buyers. So you know what? That's not really all that bearish now, but it's not really a bull signal, so I'm just going to move this to watching. VKTX, the biotech, I think this is with Ozempic. Box breakdown. Ugh, do you see just how awful some of these look? Zim. So Zim right here, pink bar. I actually bought a little bit here right by the close at $19.50 because I really liked how it went green, green, green here, and it was forming an inside bar, so I figured I'd try a little bit and see. And this is more of a whim trade because was so sort of pissed that I missed it all. So we'll see if that was a good spot. If not, I'll bail. Stop against the low. 1881. Yeah, I won't even wait till 1881. I'll wait till like 19 even. I'll give it like 50 cents room. If it doesn't work, then I'll bail. Last one here on this list, pink bar. Oh, but with a sort of a bullish looking inside week. We'll see if it triggers, but it looks like it wants to maybe go higher. All right. So that's the two lists. Now, I'll show you just a couple bonus charts because everybody's going to want to look at this. One is APP. This has been a lovely uptrend all along here, but this is a good example of chart volume reading. Had a box breakout right here. You think everything's looking great. Box breakout, green, green, green. What happens? Big red selling. That checks the advance. Big red selling here. Boy, you know, there's more sellers coming up. What's the stock done? Well, it's now going sideways. So if you were buying in here, what were you thinking? You were thinking it's going to go straight up? No. The sellers have appeared, so sideways is more likely. So that's on the watching list. Here's a chart I want to show you, Oracle. Going sideways, this big box, no real weekly signals, but on a daily, you had a yellow bar, big signal here. It moved up, then it sort of went splat. But you see, here's a hammer signal that's bullish. Ever since then, straight up. Daily signals are harder than weekly signals, but I wanted to show that just on how there's signals everywhere. The other two are just things I own. Net, down. Well, you know, I'm short that one. DOCN, I'm long this one. Moved up just a couple cents, not really doing much, but it's this volume I like. And then the new short I did, DHI. I tried it last week. Oh, look at this, what a mess. And then I hit it again this week. So far it seems to be working. Might be on the edge of a box breakdown, we'll see. And the last chart, and then we'll wrap. GameStop, GME. So this is the weekly view. This is where it all began right here, yellow bar signal. The crazy move here, which they should have blown out everything at the top. And then it triggered briefly the downside, but then nope, going back up. And now up here, Roaring Kitty had his little live stream, and whoopsie, maybe it wasn't such a good idea. But from a weekly perspective, that's what I see. From a daily, woof, pink bar signal, biggest red volume. Yeah, I don't think, this is where I question, does he have a strategy? I don't think so. If you want to look at it on monthly, that's what it looks like on monthly. Big yellow bar, but 50-50 inside. So, anyways, as you've seen, sort of a mixed market overall. So pick your poison. If you want to bet against stuff, it's out there. If you want to find bullish stuff, it's out there. So trade well and have a great week. Talk to you soon. Bye.